The foldable phone market has been dominated by Samsung for years, with its Z Fold and Z Flip series setting the bar for what's possible in a flexible display device. But now, it looks like Apple might finally be ready to enter the foldable game, and it's taking more inspiration from Samsung than anyone expected. According to a new report based on engineering test equipment leaks, Apple's latest foldable iPhone prototype could feature some surprising technologies, including an under-display camera or UDC, and even the return of Touch ID. That's right, Apple might be bringing back fingerprint authentication for its first foldable iPhone. Let's dive into what we know so far. For starters, while earlier rumors suggested that Apple might use Samsung's under-display camera technology in regular iPhones to hide Face ID components, this new report suggests something entirely different. Instead of using UDC to power Face ID, Apple's foldable iPhone prototype is using this technology for regular photos and video, much like what we've already seen in the Galaxy Z Fold series. In fact, Face ID might not even be part of the design at all. Yes, you heard that right. Apple's foldable iPhone prototype reportedly lacks Face ID altogether. That's a major shift considering how central Face ID has become to the iPhone experience. But instead of facial recognition, Apple may be turning back to a familiar form of biometric authentication: Touch ID. If you've been following Apple closely, you'll know that Touch ID hasn't been part of the flagship iPhone lineup since the iPhone 8 way back in 2017. The only recent iPhone to still feature Touch ID was the iPhone SE 2022. However, Apple has continued to use fingerprint sensors on other products, like iPads, MacBooks, and even its Magic Keyboard. So, the technology is far from dead, and now it could be making a comeback in the company's next big innovation. According to this leak, the foldable iPhone prototype features a side-mounted Touch ID sensor, similar to what Samsung uses in the Galaxy Z Fold and Z Flip. This would make sense, especially since facial recognition can be tricky with foldable form factors. When you consider the flexible nature of these devices and the varied ways users interact with them, a physical fingerprint sensor could actually be the more convenient and reliable choice. Now let's talk more about the cameras. The prototype is said to use an under-display camera on the inner foldable screen. That means you could video call, take selfies, or record videos without seeing a notch or punch hole when using the main display. Again, this mirrors what Samsung already does with its Z Fold series. On the outside, though, the foldable iPhone reportedly features a punch hole camera on the cover display, another design choice we've seen from Samsung. This all raises an interesting point. Is Apple following Samsung's lead here? From everything we're hearing, Apple's foldable iPhone borrows several key elements from the Galaxy Z Fold and Z Flip design playbook. We're talking about the placement of the under-display camera, the return of side-mounted Touch ID, and even the dual display layout with an outer cover screen and a larger inner foldable display. Of course, Apple wouldn't be Apple without trying to refine or reinvent these ideas in its own way. So even if the current prototype closely resembles what Samsung has already done, the final product, assuming it launches, could still carry that distinctive Apple polish. Speaking of launch timelines, most recent rumors suggest that Apple's first foldable iPhone could arrive sometime in late 2026 or early 2027. That's still a long way off, and as always, plans can change. Prototypes are just that, experimental versions of a product that may never see the light of day in their current form. But if Apple does go forward with a foldable iPhone that features under-display camera technology and a return to Touch ID, it would be a huge moment not just for Apple fans, but for the entire foldable smartphone market. Samsung has enjoyed years of dominance in the foldable space with little real competition from other brands. But the entry of Apple would change the game overnight. It would force Samsung to innovate even faster, push design boundaries further, and possibly rethink how it approaches future Z Fold and Z Flip releases. One thing is for sure, a true foldable iPhone would ignite a whole new level of excitement in the smartphone world. So, what do you think about the idea of a foldable iPhone with Touch ID and an under-display camera? Are you excited about Apple possibly taking inspiration from Samsung's foldable designs, or do you think they should try something completely different? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more tech updates, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what's next in the world of foldables. Thanks for watching.